other people is redirected, which, if you are like Oda, and most characters in the story that are introduced don't have much at all to do with any of the main characters, then you are taking away from time that could be used on the most important characters, because many of the characters that end up being added don't add a whole lot of value. And this is a circular issue. Oda spends a lot of time introducing new characters, which make fans become attached to said characters or become hyped for what those characters could be in the future, to ultimately end up doing nothing with those characters and having them be irrelevant. This creates
that happens
false
in any story,
and inevitably lets.
That happens in any story. As long as there are characters that are named and not every single one of them has a dedicated amount of time to them, there are going to be characters that you wish you got more out of.
He shows this, but we get to see more of Lion Kid.
Dragon Ball has a very, very small cast compared to One Piece, but we still don't know anything about Chaozu. Aside from he is friends with Tien.
And they went to the same school. We don't even know how he has telekinesis. Well, there's been multiple instances where Goku uses telekinesis, so something. But apart from that, Dragon Ball has so little lore. So little lore compared to what it should have.
I'm sure there's someone out there who wanted more backstory for Nail.
Certainly, but we didn't get it. Is he a wasted character? Maybe, but he wasn't irrelevant.
But One Piece has 10 times the characters Dragon Ball has, and yet somehow they both have characters that people wanted more out of. So it doesn't matter that One Piece has so many characters, then people wanted more out of some of them, because it's going to happen anytime.
Yeah. Let's see. Smoothie is an example of this, but we might get more of Smoothie, you know.
And if we don't, who cares?
I kind of care.
I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate that we might not get more of Smoothie, but not every character is gonna get what we want. Like I said, there's someone out there who wants more Nail content. This isn't a One Piece exclusive problem.
I don't think he implied it as a One Piece exclusive problem, but it is a problem that One Piece is.
Well, no, he's saying that it's a problem in One Piece because One Piece has too many characters, but this applies to things that don't have as many characters, like Dragon Ball. So, is it a problem with too many characters, or is it a problem that not every character was utilized in the way that everyone wanted them to be?
You mean in every way that he wanted it to go?
Most likely.
Lets people down. The fan favorite characters get very little attention because Oda is spending so much time introducing all these new people with mixed results, which relates back to what I was talking about with people like Usopp and Robin and all the Straw Hats that end up suffering excessively. Oda.
Oh, what?
So he's saying, oh, these characters are fan favorites, but Oda doesn't give them any time. Well, maybe because they're not important to the story right now.
Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, 42 minutes, 38 seconds.
Oda has sacrificed depth for width. And there are other sources for me to quote that help support this. And these other sources include interview snippets.
Sources?
Interviews,
Sources?
They're not always the most accurate depiction of what and when something is occurring, but there are several interviews from Oda and people around Oda that I think are a bit eye-opening. Let's take a look at some of them. According to the magazine, the editor said Oda spends much time on deciding how to cram his ideas into 17 pages. I just can't help but draw a lot. The weekly format is set at 19 pages, but from the creator perspective, I want to move the story along faster. I end up jamming as much as I can in there. There is also wanting to finish faster so I can relax. One Piece has more characters than before. Oda has to cram a lot of information into one chapter to move forward with the story. Oda says he would be able to draw really impressive fight scenes only if he could keep drawing the fight scene for 2 chapters in a row. He feels One Piece can only spend 1 chapter at most on a fight scene.
Damn.
There's a lot to unpack here, but
that just sounds like his preference, not a real issue with his pacing. I mean, if Oda tried to draw 2 chapters of fight scene, that would be amazing. Kaku versus Zoro level fights more often would be straight amazing. But he has a limit, and he has to work on said limits. This is how it works. It's not a bad thing.
But the paneling will suffer.
I guess no one else has anything to say. Alright.
let's start with the smallest things and work our way up. Let's start with art. It's actually pretty hard to convey this change without asking people to reread the story, but it's something that I think is rather noticeable once you do. Comparing the art of the pre-time skip to the post-time skip brings about almost a night and day difference. The interviews show that Oda feels an obligation to cram as much as he humanly can into panels, which can certainly be felt. Oda is decreasing the amount of tools he has as an artist because he thinks more equals better. Oda doesn't use spreads to the degree that he did in the past. He no longer uses minimalistic drawings as much either. There is no longer a greater emphasis on showing facial expressions or spending time showing the build-up and execution of a plotline. There are so many things going on at all times that Oda simply off-screens events, discussions, and fights in the attempt to push the narrative. One Piece is a fighting shonen, the type of series where almost everything is exclusive.
Alright, at least he explained himself about the paneling thing, but this isn't a fighting shonen. Fighting is like third importance.
It is a battle manga, but it's not in the same vein as like Dragon Ball, where fighting is the only way we get things done.
If One Piece were a fighting manga, it would be like how Bleach was during the late Hueco Mundo arc, where we just had fight after fight after fight after fight after fight. You know what that feels like, Gavin.
No, I have no idea what you're referring to.
I have an idea what you're referring to. I haven't watched or read Bleach.
You haven't read Bleach?
I haven't read Bleach.
Don't.
I've read
It's not worth it.
Does that count?
Kinnikuman is better.
Really? Because Kinnikuman's quite mid.
Kinnikuman, it doesn't take much to be better than Bleach, really.
Yeah. If Kinnikuman's mid, then Bleach is way below.
Is that doo-doo fartlicious?
The problem with Bleach is that it starts off really good. It's got good character stuff.
It's so good at the start.
If Bleach had just been what it was at the start, the entirety of the series, fuck, that would have been good. It would have been so amazing. But no, it just devolves into fight after fight after fight.
You're telling me the shonen started at one genre and then changed genre mid-production? Also, Rex is gone.
I suppose so.
Have you watched Yu Yu Hakusho?
The what now?
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
I watched like 2 episodes of that, but just the 2 episodes, and not the first 2 episodes.
Bleach is a worse Yu Yu Hakusho. Not to say Yu Yu Hakusho is bad. Yu Yu Hakusho is amazing.
I heard good things about that. So, Okay, I see what you're saying. Let's continue with the video.
Exclusively resolved fighting shonen, the type of series where almost everything is exclusively resolved through a fight. A story where the progression of character strength is paramount in telling the journey.
Damn good arts.
The time skip was set in place in order to prepare Luffy and the crew for the New World because they weren't strong enough. We are talking about like the foundation for change, right? And yet Oda thinks that because there are so many characters in the story, he can't give it his all in fights because otherwise he wouldn't be able to finish. This is all the result of Oda's world being too big and him trying to compensate. And this is also taking into consideration the fact that Oda is aging and he's not getting any healthier. That's part of the issue as well. Oda's current philosophy is actively working against his own health. We know that Oda has been hospitalized.
He just really... Well... That's kind of just like Japan in general. You work till you're dead. That's just how life works there. Pretty depressing. It's not really an Oda thing specifically. Unless you want him to be more like Toriyama, which gets bank off of the name and does absolutely nothing, laying on his rocket-powered sewing machine. I don't know if he sews, but point being, he wants to do it and he enjoys doing it, and that's good for him.
Yeah, this isn't really an Oda exclusive issue, and as you said, Oda enjoys doing it, so it's a lot better than a lot of people's situations are, really. Like, Oda could easily retire right now if he wanted to.
Oh, Rex's internet went out.
Ah.
Well, I guess we could stop until he comes back. Yeah, let the man be hospitalized. He enjoys it. Oh, okay, I'll wait till Rex comes back then. Damn good line work.